Alright, now you should have a pretty good idea of how to use the event transform action, builder, and plain code payloads, and switching between the option values. Welcome to Tines with Tyler. In this video, I'm going to show you the event transform action in Tines and the differences between the builder and plain code payload options. As you can see, I already have the event transform action in my storyboard, so I'm going to click it and open the event options. Here in the options, I have the payload for builder and plain code. The differences between builder and plain code is that plain code will be the plain code of the message payload. As for the builder view, this is more of a point and click UI interface for editing the transform action. The big advantage in builder mode is that it's easy to add new objects, change the type of the object, as well as easily add formulas. Now I've reset this back to a default action. When we run this, we should expect that the output would be message followed by the text. This is an automatically generated message from Tines. Once we open the event viewer, we can see this output. What if we want to get a number here? Replacing this with a number, this should still produce a text value because it is surrounded by quotes. Running the action again, we can see that. If we want to actually get it to a number, one of the ways we can do that in plain code is removing the quotes. As you can see, the highlighting changes to a green color. This indicates that it is no longer just a plain text value. Rerun the event, we can see this. Another way to change this is in the builder payload. So if we put this back to a default event transform action, we go to builder. To change it to a number value, we can hover the value options tab and change it from text into a number. As you can see, it removes the text and places the default number in. We run this event, we should also see that this number is now 0. One of the biggest advantages I like in having builder mode is that you can change this to a formula. Now that you have formula in, it's going to do the formula of quote 0. Let's see what this outputs. As you can see, it now turns back into a text value. What if we don't want the text value? We can remove the quotes. Now that just by itself did not make a difference, but where the difference comes into using the formula mode is if you have preceding event actions. And to do that, I'm going to simulate another event transform action with the message payload. And I'm going to create two different key value pairs. One of them is going to be a message and then the other one's going to be a number. So I'm going to change that from text into a number. And for the message, I'm going to have this actually be a text value of a number. I'm going to change the name and then link the two together. Now that they're linked together, I need to reference this new field. Using the formula one, I'm going to link the fields. And then I'm going to create another one to reference the other field. So one of them is using formula and the other one is using text. Go ahead and run the first event and see what the output is. So you can see the message that was running a formula returns the value of 0, an actual number. The value of message 2 returns quote 0 as a text value. If you remember, the output from the number payload event transform dot number should be an actual number. But in our event transform payload, one of them was a formula and the other one was a text value. As you can see, that is how they ended up being formatted. Now let's see what happens if we add both of them for the message payload, which should be a text value of 0. So I have the one for text now, I'm going to add the one for the formula. Go back and rerun the event to see the output. So as you can see, message 3, which should be the text value, returns the text value of that field. Message 4 returns the formula of that field, and the formula is still returning the quote 0. This is because the formula is returning exactly what you should be returning in that field. To do one more example, I'm going to show you what happens if you put an object in the field. So go back here and we're going to add an object. So now I have an object of a key value 1 and 1 value. We'll go back to our event transform and reference this field now. And then I'm going to make another one for the formula value. Now if we go back and run this event, let's see what the output is. The object text returned the parsed JSON text value of that field, but the object formula field returned the actual payload. So as you can see, sometimes it makes a difference having a formula field versus a text field, depending on what your use case is. Alright, now you should have a pretty good idea of how to use the event transform action, builder, and plain code payloads, and switching between the option values. If you're interested in creating more projects and wanting to learn how to automate more cool things in Tines, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other posts.